Here I am. I'm on the air again. Brandon Walker. More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast against all odds. Very happy to be here. I got my Mississippi State shirt on today. Got my maroon on. Got my cowbells. Everything's good. Everybody's happy. Everybody good? Yes. Shrekking crew on the other side of the glass. How you doing, Lance Shark? Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm doing good, thanks.
All right, Terp, good to see you. Feeling good. Good weather outside. Been great weather for like a week, maybe 2 weeks here in Atlanta. Been fantastic weather. Got a T-ball game tonight, or a coach pitch game tonight up in Cartersville. Very excited about it. Lots to talk about today. We're going to talk about running backs. That's what we're going to talk about. As I believe Joe Moorhead and his coaching staff are out there, and they're going to find some big-time running backs. That's what it looks like. They're going to they're kind of in the mix for some running backs out of Louisiana, out of Tennessee, and I think with Charles Huff where he's at, Charles Huff doing what he's doing as the one of the best recruiters in the country, as the running backs coach, everything looks good for the future of that position. We'll talk about Aries Williams, Kylan Hill, everybody. We'll also talk about baseball, and what's my second topic? I skipped. Oh, Mississippi State, number 11, and CBS's post-spring rankings. So we'll get to that, top 25. And today, what day is it, Terp? What day is it?
Thursday throwback trivia.
Yes.
Trivia Thursday.
Thursday throwback trivia. 6 Mississippi State related trivia questions. If you know the answers, show up. If you think you know trivia, be here today. A couple of easy ones, a couple of really difficult ones. I'm very, very excited about this. Now, hi, Brandon Walker, more Cowbell. Let's see who we got here. Howdy from Little Rock, D. Curtis. Doing payroll today, so she's just going to listen. Hail State. D. Curtis. Kennesaw, Georgia, Thomas Loftus. Wow, I'm looking to move to Kennesaw myself in the next couple of days.
Really?
Yeah. Kennesaw would knock my commute in half. And Kennesaw's a nice little area.
Far.
I do live a long way out, yeah. Sullivan, Alabama, Lynn Rhodes, Gilmer. Boardtown, Mississippi, Kirk Misso. Auburn Mac, as State is ahead of them. Laugh out loud. Guess Auburn forgot they lost to UCF. Jason Brinson. Oh, we're starting by LOLing today and LMAOing. Ha-ha. SEC, yeah. Jay Hammers, I'm aware of it. I'm gonna talk to some people. I just became aware of it before I went on the air, but an SEC country writer wrote an article today about Mississippi State's schedule, and they said our probable losses are Auburn, LSU, and Florida. And I disagree with that.
Who wrote it?
I don't know.
Should we fight them?
Should we fight them? No, I don't think we should fight them. I don't think there's going to be any hands thrown. Hail State from Browns Ferry Nuclear. Point City, Junior Ray. Tillatoba, Mississippi. Darren McNichols checking in from Las Vegas. James Harvey Darby in Tillatoba. That's a mouthful. Caledonia's here. Carl Ulmer. Jay Hammers, I knew who wrote it. I just didn't want to say his name. Good writer. Great writer. I disagree with him on this. We can disagree. We can be coworkers and disagree. Me and Terp disagree on things all the time. I like to be a good person and be funny and be somebody that people like to be around. And Terp likes to be what he is. So People can disagree on things. Danville, Kentucky, Jason Miller. Chula, Mississippi, Quan Rowe. Thanks, Quan. I haven't seen Quan here before. Awesome. Amy Hall is here. Meridian, Mississippi, Octavian Bush. Thanks for being here, Octavian Bush. Which is your favorite cowbell? Says Matt White. I'm partial to the bat handle, probably because it looks like your head. That's probably why I'm Matt White. That's actually a Matt White selfie right there. You look into the camera. Alexandria, Louisiana, Kenny Emmerich. Hail State, Hattiesburg. On the road to Memphis for Foo Fighters, Marty Morgan. Congratulations, Marty. Hernando, Mississippi, Travis Klima. Gaucher is here, Matt Thornton. Hail State from Nashville, James Mask. Hail State from Hattiesburg. Boy, that was a good time. What do you think, Matt? Hail State from Gordo, Starkville to Atlanta, Ethan Fleury. Danny E. Pinter says it's going to be sweet when we beat Alabama this year. That would be incredibly sweet. Who you got winning the Derby on Saturday? A 3-year-old horse. What are the best horse names in this year's Derby? I haven't checked them out yet.
Couldn't tell you one.
I couldn't tell you one either. I do love the Derby, but I never go into it very prepared. I just watch it. Nick Gibson's uncle. Who's Nick Gibson's uncle? Shannon Waldrop. Who is Nick Gibson's uncle? Travis Klima. Thank you. I'm going to play you out loud so all these folks in Starbucks can hear you. Kevin Wright. That sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen. That's what that sounds like. It sounds like a terrible idea. Wyoming is watching because you're a big deal here, remember? Donnie Caffey, I'm a big deal everywhere, but I'm no bigger deal anywhere than I am in Wyoming. They love me in Casper. They love me in Cheyenne. They love me in another city in Wyoming. Cody, Wyoming. All right. So we're going to talk about running backs. We're going to talk about Mississippi State being number 11 in the CBS poll. We're going to talk about, I don't know, something else. Baseball, big weekend for baseball as they go to Alabama. And then at the end of the show, we'll have Thursday throwback trivia, 6 questions. And Brian Haydad doesn't seem to be here, so we should be able to have good trivia today. Although Matt Wyatt is here, which is unfortunate. That is unfortunate.
I do have your top 5 Kentucky Derby horses.
All right, who are they?
Pick the winner.
Number
1.
We got to go, but very quickly.
Mendelssohn.
Mendelssohn?
How do I say that?
All right.
Audible.
Justify.
Magnum Moon. And Bolt d'Oro.
Oh, if I'm going on those names?
Yes.
It's Magnum Moon. Not even close.
I like Justify. Justify's going to win.
Magnum Moon? That's a terrific name. Although I think you butchered the pronunciation of the last one, and that sounded like a cool name, but you just didn't do it very much justice.
Bolt and then D''ORO.
Bolt d'Oro. D'Oro.
I don't know, yeah. D'Oro.
Bolt is a good horse name.
I like Bolt.
Yeah. Hail State and go Dogs. Matt White is headed over to listen to the B&B show. Talk to you later. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you stopping by. I know you have to get to the barber. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, you started it, Matt. You started it. You always started. You call me square-headed, and you say all these things. So just, hey, all right. Terp, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a show. Let's go. Terp. Your job is literally to press a button.
Are you ready yet?
Please.
It's the More Cowbell Show, brought to you by SEC Country. And now, your host of the More Cowbell Show, Brandon Walker.
That's me, Brandon Walker, More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast on SEC Country. And we are officially rung in here on a Thursday, a beautiful Thursday in Atlanta, Georgia. Got a lot going on. Big weekend for baseball, Mississippi State. We're going to talk about running backs today. CBS has a very high opinion of Mississippi State coming out of spring practice. They share the opinion that I have. Matt Wyatt is hanging out in the Facebook Live comment section. So what a great day here in the SEC Country Studios in Atlanta. I'm Brandon Walker. Again, this is More Cowbell. Going to talk about all that stuff, and at the end of the show, we'll have Thursday throwback trivia. 6 Mississippi State questions from way back in the archives, way back, 20, 30 years ago. So Matt Wyatt might be an answer, probably won't be. So on today's show, we're going to talk about all that stuff. First, let me tell you, if you're watching on Facebook Live or Twitter or YouTube, you can tell that I am wearing a beautiful Mississippi State polo I got from Maroon & Co., Maroon & Company behind Chick-fil-A in Starkville on Highway 12, at Maroon & Co. on Twitter, maroonandco.com. I got these bells there. I got this shirt there. Did not get these shoes there today, but they do have a selection of all kind of Mississippi State stuff. You'll get lost in there, I promise. It's a great store, a great website. If you go to their website, make sure you have some time to kill because you're going to get lost on there and you're probably going to spend some money. And tell them I sent you, and they'll say thanks. That's it. They won't do anything. They'll just say thanks. Now, we are going to talk about running backs today. We're going to talk about running backs for Mississippi State. And then we're going to get into the top 25 of CBS. Post-spring top 25, Dennis Dodd put his out. He changes his based on what he's hearing, what he's feeling, what injuries are happening. And he likes Mississippi State a lot. He likes Mississippi State a lot. I'm talking number 11 a lot. And at the end of the show, we'll talk about baseball with a big weekend at Alabama. And then again, like I said, Thursday throwback trivia. Running backs, I think this is a very exciting time at Mississippi State because running back has been a position that is traditionally very, very strong at Mississippi State. Running back, even when we've had bad teams or mediocre teams or teams that aren't that good, we've had pretty good running backs. And there haven't been many teams lately in the last 20 years that I can say didn't really have a good running back. Certainly Dak's senior year when there was, Holloway Shepard, that kind of struggled until Aries Williams took over the next year. But as far as running backs, Mississippi State is usually in very, very good shape. Now, what do we have now? We have a new coaching staff. Aries Williams is a senior. He is obviously a good player. He rushed for 1,100 yards last year. He's going to be the starter. He's going to have Kylan Hill right behind him, pushing him, maybe getting up to 50-50 carries. I don't know. But eventually Kylan Hill will be the guy, and he will be a stud. He will be a star at Mississippi State. You also have Charles Huff, who Mississippi State coach Joe Moorhead brought from Penn State. Charles Huff was ranked as the number 4 recruiter in the country last year, and he has shown at Mississippi State he is a great recruiter, and I would assume he's going to be a good running backs coach. And right now, you listen to guys like Steve Robertson, you listen to guys like Robbie Falk, Paul Jones, all the recruiting experts around Mississippi State. Mississippi State is heavily in the game for some big-time running backs. I'm talking John Emery from Louisiana, a kid LSU would like to have, a 4-star running back from down there that Mississippi State seems to be recruiting pretty well and seems to be in the game for. Eric Gray, a 4-star running back from Memphis, a guy that, could go anywhere. Mississippi State seems to be in the game for. Charles Huff seems to be a game changer when it comes to going out and showing these guys, hey, we had Saquon Barkley at Penn State. We had the number 2 pick in the draft. We had an offense that spotlighted this guy. We're going to do it in Starkville, and we need you. And on the recruiting trail, Mississippi State looks to be in good position at the running back spot. I am very excited about the future of this position. Let's talk about the present and what Joe Moorhead's offense might mean for these guys. Now, Aries Williams, he led the team in rushing last year with 1,100 yards. He is not sexy. He is not flashy. He is not 80 yards. He is not that guy. He's not Saquon Barkley. He is 5 yards. He is moving the pile. He is punishing a defense. He is hard to tackle. He is harder to tackle in the fourth quarter than he is the first. He is steady, and he is underrated by Mississippi State fans. I'm not saying that because we share the same hometown. He is very underrated by State fans. I understand the excitement about Kylan Hill. I have it too. But don't let that overshadow the fact that this offense looked different when Aries Williams came out last year. Aries Williams is a good player, a good running back for Mississippi State. I understand Kylan Hill is coming, but Aries Williams deserves this year. Now, this year, I think you've got 2 really, really, really good running backs. And by the time Kylan Hill's a senior, I think he's better than Aries Williams. I just don't know if that time is now. However, like I said earlier, don't look at it like I like this guy more than this guy. Or I like Aries more than Kylan. I like Kylan more than Aries. Look at it like Mississippi State has 2 of the top 5 or 6 running backs in the SEC. And nobody knows it yet. Nobody outside of Starkville knows Kylan Hill is coming. They don't know it. Nobody outside of Starkville gives Aries Williams much credit, but it's happening. It's coming. Let's look at Saquon Barkley. 2015, before Joe Moorhead got there, he rushed for 1,076 yards. That's hard to say. 7 touchdowns on 182 attempts. He was good. When Moorhead got there in 16 and 17, he rushed for 1,496, an average of 5.5 as a sophomore, 18 touchdowns. As a junior last year, 217 attempts, 1,271 yards, 5.9 average, 18 touchdowns. But here's the more exciting thing. Joe Moorhead's offense creates opportunities all over the field for everybody. For everybody. Last year, I want you to really let this sink in. As you saw Mississippi State's offense last year, I want you to let this sink in. Saquon Barkley in 2017 had 54 catches for 632 yards and 3 touchdowns. 54 catches, 632 yards, 3 touchdowns. Mississippi State's leading wide receiver last year, the leading receiver on the entire team, had 27 catches for 300-something yards. Saquon Barkley, the running back at Penn State, doubled our receivers' best receiving yards. And that's how often Saquon Barkley was given the ball in space. That's what the future is for Kylan Hill. I don't know about Ayers Williams. I don't know about him catching the ball out of the backfield. He can do it, I know, but I'm not sure that's the best use of him. It is the best use of Kylan Hill, or it is a very good use of Kylan Hill. The bottom line is Joe Moorhead knows how to use a running back. And Joe Moorhead is going to get our best players the ball. He's going to get them the ball often, and he's going to unleash hell on the SEC in the form of the running backs at Mississippi State not only this year, but the years following when Kylan Hill is the man, and it looks like recruiting is going to stock that position even further. Now, one guy that is high on Mississippi State, Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports. I believe, I don't remember where he had Mississippi State in his pre-spring top 25. I think it was 14th. I think he gave State a lot of credit, and I was very pleased with that. He's gone even farther now. Mississippi State ranked number 11. Please put that up. And Dennis Dodd's latest post-spring top 25. And you can see it on the screen. I'll read it for you if you're listening on the podcast. Dennis Dodd writes, Joe Moorhead proved himself one of the best play callers in football at Penn State. In his first head coaching job, he inherits Heisman candidate Nick Fitzgerald. Dan Mullen always had the Bulldogs overachieving, it seemed. There's a lot in the tank for Moorhead to kick off his FBS head coaching career. Now, one thing he says there that I like, okay? He gives Joe Moorhead credit right in the beginning. He says how good of a coach he is. A lot of guys who are going to rank Mississippi State low or keep them unranked are going to say, well, they lost Dan Mullen. They lost a coach. Well, guess what? Once upon a time, Dan Mullen was a coordinator getting his first job. And now Joe Moorhead is. It is not out of the realm of possibility Joe Moorhead's just as good a coach as Dan Mullen was. And Dan Mullen did a great job in Starkville. So Dennis Dodd able to see past that, able to see the reputation Moorhead has, able to see what's on campus, because it's more about that than it is about Moorhead. It's more about the players that are on campus than it is about Joe Moorhead. But 11, wow, that's a lot of respect. That's a lot of respect. And Dennis Dodd, kudos to him for seeing what a lot of us see. And I've had fans on Facebook Live say, I'd rather us be unranked in the preseason. I hate that attitude. You want your team to be noticed and recognized and put up in lights. You want your team to play in big games in the key moments. You don't want to play at 11 o'clock on Saturday. You want to play at 2:30 on CBS or 6 o'clock on ESPN. To do that, you need to be ranked. So I want Mississippi State ranked as highly as possible, as often as possible. And that's why I spotlight these things. Big weekend for baseball. Mississippi State goes to Alabama. Now, Mississippi State, not in great position, but certainly fighting, battling. Last weekend kind of took a step back, lost 2 of 3 to Texas A&M after sweeping Arkansas. But they go to Alabama. It's a big weekend. Trying to make postseason play, trying to finish above 500, trying to kind of get off that SEC tournament bubble at the bottom. Mississippi State is 9-12 in the SEC. Alabama been by far the worst team in the league this year. They're 5-16. They're not even close to being very good. It's on the road, but it's a slippery slope. If you're 9-12 and you lose 2 out of 3, you might be out of it. If you win 2 out of 3 or sweep, you're in good shape. You're in better shape. The road has been tricky. Mississippi State hasn't won a road series. In fact, the only 2 series Mississippi State has won is against the number 3 team in the country. They've done that twice. But maybe they can beat the worst team in the league. I don't know. But it's a big weekend. If you got postseason plans, if you want to do anything, you got to go take care of Alabama. You got to go control this series. 2 out of 3 at a minimum, and a sweep would be really, really nice. Thursday throwback trivia. Now, there are 6 questions here. I got 2 football, 2 baseball, 2 basketball. So they range in difficulty. Every day I do the 2-minute drill. Well, this is a little more centered. So let's see. We'll go number 1. If you guys are ready, you just answer on the Facebook Live. Dak Prescott holds Mississippi State's single-game record for passing yards with 508. Who was the opponent that night? Dak Prescott holds the record for most passing yards in a game with 508. Who was the opponent? Let's see if we can get some answers rolling in here. Rice, says Sean Barker. LSU says Michael Dalton. Georgia Tech, Orange Bowl, all of those are incorrect. Cameron McGee, the great Cameron McGee with the first correct answer. Martin Smith also has it. The answer is Arkansas in 2015, that 51-50 slugfest where we won by Beniquez Brown blocking a field goal at the end. That thrilling game where Mississippi State won in, I don't know if it was Fayetteville or Little Rock. I can't remember. But 508 passing yards that night for Dak Prescott, the most ever by a Mississippi State quarterback in a game, and it was against the Arkansas Razorbacks. Rice, I don't remember how many he had, but I know his second was Georgia Tech, and third was Rice, I believe. He owns the top three. I can tell you that much right now. Number 4, number 2, whatever. Numbers are tough. Number 2, who is Mississippi State's career leader in quarterback sacks? Who is Mississippi State's career leader all time in quarterback sacks? No Google. No Google. All right? We are honorable people here. We're not Ole Miss fans. We're good people. Hey, Land Shark, how you doing? What happened to my hair? Why does he keep asking what happened to my hair? My hair's fine. What's wrong with my hair? Edward Smith, no. Willie Evans, no. Johnny Cooks, no. Cooks, no. Chris Jones, no. Favors, no. Ryan Sparks. Ryan Sparks with the first correct answer. What was his name? Billy Jackson. Was it Billy Jackson? It was Jackson. This guy, this Jackson, back in the early 80s, had 49 career sacks. 49 career sacks. Unbelievable. Billy Jackson, 49 sacks. That's 23 more than second place. Second place has 26. This guy had 49 sacks. Now, this was 1980, 81, 82, 83, so I wasn't born yet. But that's a lot of sacks. Number 3, one Mississippi State baseball player has won Baseball America's National Freshman of the Year award. Who was he? One Mississippi State baseball player has won Baseball America's National Freshman of the Year award. Who was he? 49 sacks. That's ridiculous. That is a lot of sacks. That sounds like one of my grocery trips, trying to feed 12 kids. Mangum, no. He did not win Baseball America's Freshman of the Year award. C.T. Bradford, no. John Kelsey, with the correct answer. The answer is Rafael Palmeiro. Rafael Palmeiro in 1983. Again, I wasn't born yet. Number 4. Who was Mississippi State's first winner of the Ferris Award, which is given annually to the best college baseball player in the state? Who was Mississippi State's first winner of the Ferris Trophy for best college baseball player in the state? Who was I think the award started in 2004, and state player did not win it first or second. A state player won it third, and our first player to win it was who? I don't know if you guys are answering this question. Ed Easley is incorrect. Hudson, no. Chris Stratton, no. Ryan Sparks, 2 in a row. Why are you rolling your eyes over there? Ryan Sparks with 2 in a row. Thomas Berkery, 2006, was Mississippi State's first Ferris Trophy winner. Number 5. Are you guys bored with this over there? You don't like the Thursday throwback trivia? You like 2 minute drill better because you get to participate, right? Well, guess what? I don't care. This is about me and my Mississippi State fans right now. We're having a good time. Number 5. In 1990, men's basketball. In 1990, Mississippi State and Ole Miss played a 4-overtime game in the Humphrey Coliseum. What was the final score? What was the final score of Mississippi State and Ole Miss's 4-overtime game in 1990? Thank you, Glenn McClellan, for complimenting my shirt. Who's that guy that doesn't like my hair today? What's wrong with my hair? Turp, Landshark, my hair okay? I'm good, right? All right, Ryan Sparks, I believe you're Googling. I believe you're Googling. That's what I believe. I'm not trying to call you out, but I think Google might be in. Just tell me you're not Googling. I want you to do that. The answer is 104 to 102. 104 to 102. Donnie Caffey's guess was it was close. That's also correct, Donnie. That is technically correct. Mississippi State in 1990 in the Humphrey Coliseum beat Ole Miss 104 to 102 in 4 overtimes. In 1991, Mississippi State and Ole Miss went to overtime in the Humphrey Coliseum. State won 84 to 80. A lot of people kind of conflict those two. They try to remember both at the same time. Number 5 or 6, the last question. This is probably the most difficult, so do not Google this. Who did Mississippi State beat for its first NCAA tournament win ever? Men's basketball. Who did Mississippi State men's basketball beat for its first NCAA tournament win ever? Which team did they beat? This could take a while. Unless Ryan Sparks fires up the old Google machine. Roy Samonte says Sparks is a Google master. Just saying. But he could be. He could just be a trivia master. Could be. BYU no. San Fran no. BYU no. Nobody, says Landon Miles. That's not right. Who said that? Pierre Causey. I've never seen Pierre Causey here before, but he just shows up and gives an answer. Pierre Causey with the correct answer. In 1963, after losing to Loyola Chicago, Mississippi State played an NCAA tournament consolation game in the regional and beat Bowling Green in 1963 for the first Mississippi State tournament win ever. You know what's sad? The second NCAA tournament win didn't come until 1995. Think about that for a second. The second tournament win was Santa Clara, and the third one was Utah, and the fourth one was VCU, and the fifth one was Princeton, and the sixth one was, I could go all the way down the list if you'd like. I don't need Google. That's Thursday Throwback Trivia. I hope you had a good time. Give me a thumbs up if you guys would like. If you guys like to keep doing Thursday Throwback Trivia. I never know if you like to do it or if you'd rather do the 2-minute drill. So tell me on Facebook Live if you'd like to keep doing trivia or if you'd like to do something else, because I am a man of the people. I am somebody who does whatever you guys want. For the podcast, I'll go ahead and drop you off here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. We'll be back Monday. Facebook Live, Twitter. I'm coming right back to you. We'll talk for a couple of minutes. My name is Brandon Walker. You've been listening to More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. All right, bunch of thumbs up. Bunch of thumbs up. A lot of thumbs up. Kevin Wright says, you do you, Brandon. Thank you very much. I enjoy that. I love trivia. I'm a trivia guy. I once beat Brian Haydad in a game of trivia in front of everybody at sixpackspeak.com. I did it fairly and legally. Hail State from Snohomish, Washington, Bill Anderson via Madison, Mississippi. Don't get rid of trivia. It's awesome. Tell the Shrekking crew to get over it. Hey, that's his words, not mine. $104 to $102. One of my favorite basketball games I ever watched at Mississippi State. I think Gerald Glass had 40 for Ole Miss. Can't remember who led Mississippi State in scoring. But the next year was also an unforgettable game, 84-80 in one overtime. Cameron Burns had to hit 2 free throws with no time left to send it to overtime. Doug Hartsfield scored, I think, all 4 points in overtime, if I'm not mistaken. Brandon, have you heard anything about offensive line recruits? Well, we already got a 4-star offensive lineman in the boat. I believe you'll be pleased with the offensive line recruiting by the end of this process. I know that it's definitely something the coaching staff is aware of the need for offensive linemen and the fact that the last couple of years have been slim on high school offensive linemen. So I think they're making up ground there. Why do so many people ask who our starting quarterback should be? I don't get it. Jay Hammers. I don't think it comes from a bad place. I think it comes from the fact that Keaton Thompson is going to be very good. Just like I don't think the Kylan Hill talk comes from a bad place. Keaton Thompson's going to be a very good quarterback at Mississippi State. He's an outstanding athlete. He's an outstanding player. From what I hear, he's an outstanding person. So he's going to be good at Mississippi State. Nick Fitzgerald was hurt. So I don't think anybody's trying to sow controversy or anything like that. I think it's a natural question. It's a natural question with a natural answer. Nick Fitzgerald's going to be the starting quarterback. End of story. What's your way too early prediction for men's basketball next year? Round of 32 or possible Sweet 16 dark horse? Well, possible dark horse, sure, but you can't predict the NCAA tournament. You can't predict. It's too random. You don't know who the matchup's going to be. I will never say round of 32 or Sweet 16, but I will say between 5 and 7 seed. That's what I think. I think a 22 to 24 win team, 5 to 7 seed. That's what I'm thinking. If Fitz is ready, he's on the field. No brainer, says Matt Womack. Wayman Hodge says, which would you choose? Quarterback? I would choose Nick Fitzgerald. If Nick Fitzgerald's health forced me to choose Keaton Thompson, I would feel very good about it. I would feel very good about Keaton Thompson going onto the field. We have two very good quarterbacks. Nick Fitzgerald has 1 year under Joe Moorhead, and then it's the Keaton Thompson show. How many years will it take before State is labeled a dynasty under Moorhead? Danny E. Pinter. Well, be careful. I don't know. We'll see. Let's get through the first year first. Choose one, free lifetime tickets or new car. I already get free lifetime tickets at Mississippi State. I'm Brandon Walker, so I'd take a new car. Donnie Caffey says, got to do some work. See you, Bulldog family. Keep it 100. That's all I know how to do. You know, my old show on Bulldog Sports Radio, Turp, was called Keep It 100. That's what I did. If Joe beats Saban in year one, will he be considered MSU's greatest coach? No, he'll need to do more than that. I mean, it'd be great. It'd be awesome, but you got to – Sherrill put together several good years. Mullen put together several good years. I mean, Moorhead, let's pump the brakes a little bit. But if he were to do that, boy, it gives him a leg up on what Mullen accomplished. Who's the 3 starting wide receivers for the season opener? Isaac Sparks, Devontae Jason, Stephen Guidry, Austin Williams, or Reggie Todd. And there's never going to be 3 starting wide receivers. It's going to be 4. He has 4 on the field at all times, whether it's 3x1 or 2x2. He's going to have 4. So it's always going to be 4 starting wide receivers. Jason Miller says, I wished I lived in Georgia so we could hang out. Well, listen, I'm a hangout kind of guy. If we beat Alabama, you need to wear the helmet the whole show. Probably don't need to do that. That would be very painful. Who is MSU's all-time greatest football coach? It's a good question. It's a difficult answer. Alan McKean certainly had greatness in the 40s. Jackie had moments. Dan Mullen is certainly in the conversation. I think you could argue either of those 3. Any of those 3. I might lean Mullen, but I might lean Sherrill. I don't know. How many QBs has State put in the league prior to Dak? Bagel. 0. Stayed in the league. I mean, we've had a couple drafted, but as far as stayed in the league, none. Dan Mullen is the greatest coach in State's history. It isn't close, says Jay Hammers. I think it's close. I don't know that he just overwhelmingly went past Jackie Sherrill, but it can be argued that he definitely passed it. Let's calm down with the Joe Moorhead is going to be the greatest. We haven't really seen him coach. That's fair, Landon Miles. That is correct. We haven't seen him coach. We're excited about him, and we want him to be great, but we don't know that he's going to be great. That is absolutely fair. We will not beat Alabama. If we beat LSU again this year, does it make that game not a big deal anymore? No, Jason Miller. There's not – people like to say because the team wins this game or team wins that game, it's not a big deal anymore. Every game we play against an SEC West team forever is a big game. It's a big game. Texas A&M's big this year. Auburn's big. Ole Miss is big. LSU's big. It's the toughest division in college football. It's got some of the best coaching. Well, not right now with Luke and Orgeron. But it is absolute the Wild West, and every game is gigantic. Any idea what Howland is planning to do this coming year with the extra scholarship we have now? Point guard maybe or someone else. Isaac Sparks, I saw on Twitter yesterday where a Siena grad transfer, I believe a post, was visiting Mississippi State next week. I don't know if that's what he's planning to do, but I know that he's bringing in a grad transfer to look at it next week. Nothing will ever surpass castrating a bill for a football game. Oh, castrating a bill would have saved Cosby a lot of trouble. Oh, a bull. You meant a bull. Okay. Why is the SEC East so soft? That's a good question, John Kelsey. Back in the 90s when Florida, Georgia, and Tennessee were rocking together, it was good. I just think, poor coaching hires has really hurt the SEC across the board. If you look at basketball, the coaching hires have lifted the conference, and football coaching hires have hurt the conference. It's helped Saban. But the fact that, LSU hired Orgeron, they're going to take themselves out of the running for the SEC for the next couple of years. Florida hiring Muschamp and then McElwain has really hurt them. South Carolina hiring Muschamp means they're happy with 8-4 for the rest of their life. Vanderbilt didn't really, Derek Mason isn't doing anything. Kentucky doesn't really have anything going on. Kirby Smart, they made a good coaching hire and immediately shot to the front of the SEC East. Predict where you see Fitz going in the draft, Cameron McGee. It's so hard to predict. Could Fitzgerald go in the first round of the draft? Yes. Could he go in the fourth round of the draft? Yes. Could he go undrafted? Yes. It's so hard to predict. Last year, Baker Mayfield, if he had come out as a junior, would have been a 6th or 7th round pick, would have been a last day pick. This year he came out, first pick in the draft. What happens this year under Joe Moorhead, throwing the ball down the field, is going to affect wherever Nick Fitzgerald goes. Nick Fitzgerald right now, you might as well say there is no draft stock. There is no draft film. He's played well. He's been great. But these coaches, the NFL coaches, are going to look to see how he does throwing the ball down the field. Mullen didn't do it much. Mullen didn't provide Fitzgerald any help at receiver. Moorhead's going to do both, and we'll see what happens. How is Ed still at LSU? I used to think they had standards. He's only been there 1 year. I don't know why they ever hired him, but I think they're going to fire him after this year. I think they're going to go 6-6, and he's going to get fired. Do we even know if he's going to go into the draft yet, says Landon Miles. Well, considering he'll be a senior and he won't have a choice, then I'm guessing he's going to go into the draft. He won't. Unless he goes into a life of service, he's gonna go into the draft. If we were in Starkville this weekend, I would say bring the brooms. In Tuscaloosa, don't know. It would be tough, says Drew Newell. Yeah, baseball. Are you guys throwing paper airplanes in there?
Yeah.
See, when my boss comes to me and says, how hard do they work in there? And I always say, oh, those two are fantastic. I wouldn't do anything without those two. And now I'm watching you throw paper airplanes back and forth.
I've already done my job. You have the podcast in your email, ready to go. I'm just having fun.
If we beat Auburn and LSU, can you say MSU is a playoff contending team? Jeremiah Body. So, again, I do want to pump the brakes on some of the excitement. I know I've been leading the charge on a lot of this, but I hate saying playoff contending team. That just makes me nervous. But if you were to beat LSU and Baton Rouge and you were to beat Auburn, the team that does that is going to be a playoff contender. All right, good stuff. Everybody wants to talk about football today. Where did Matt Wyatt go? Is he gone? Did he leave? We have to beat everyone else too. Wayman Hodge, certainly. But I feel like if you're good enough to beat Auburn at home, you should be good enough to win at Kansas State. You should be good enough to win against Arkansas, Texas A&M, and the others. You think Moorhead has been given too much credit? I'm afraid we're believing in him too much, and we're setting up for a major letdown. I don't know that we're giving him too much credit. Like, if he were coming in and there weren't a lot of talent here, we would probably be, okay, hey, if he goes 6-6, we'll be happy. But we know how much talent is here. And nobody outside of Starkville really recognizes how much talent is here. Jeffrey Simmons is an NFL player. Montez Sweat's an NFL player. There's NFL players on this team, at least 5 or 6 or maybe 7 or 8 of them. There's a very good quarterback. There's good running backs. There's just so much talent here. Forget who's the coach. If you just looked at the talent and the team, you'd be so excited. And Moorhead gets the benefit of that. He gets to coach these guys, and he has done well in recruiting. He's done well in every setting we put him in. So naturally, our fan base makes the logical leap that he's going to be doing well on the sidelines too. I think he will, but we don't know yet. Do we run the score up on Florida, John Kelsey? No, we do not. We do not. First of all, I don't know if Moorhead's would run the score up on Mullen. Second, I don't think we'll be in position to run the score up. Florida's going to be a lot better team than we realize. Florida's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be an easy game. Will State win it? I believe they will, but it's not going to be easy. We're not going to win that game by 30 points. Do you think Simmons will have some better stats this year considering how many other great DL we have? Can't really double team him now, can you? Isaac Sparks. See, here's the thing about defensive tackle. Stats don't matter at all. They don't matter at all. Disruption is what matters with defensive tackles. Disruption. Changing the play. Making the play go elsewhere. Making the quarterback do something he didn't want to do. And Jeffrey Simmons does that almost every snap. Florida is very good. I think they're a 9-win team. I don't know if they're very good. I think in the West they'd be a 7-win team, but they get to play in the East, so they're a 9-win team. I think they're going to be a lot better than people think. They're going to have a competent coach for the first time in years and years. I think State will be better than we think, says John Kelsey. I think State's a 10-2 team. Maybe 11-1 if I'm feeling froggy when the season gets here. Anthony Covington says no, they are not. Florida's going to be better than they have been. The East is awful. Vanderbilt's a sure win. Kentucky's a sure win. Missouri's probably a sure win. South Carolina's not good, even though they went 8-4 last year. Georgia is good. Tennessee is awful. Florida cannot be very good and win 8 games. Hail State from Marietta, Georgia, right up I-75 from where we sit right now. Jackson Waddell. Everybody talking about football today. I texted Caesar this morning. He never texted me back. Somebody asked about Caesar. Have you talked to Caesar lately, Terp? You haven't? I texted him this morning, and he hasn't texted me back. Look how professional I am texting on the air. Oh, he has a doctor's appointment today. Good for him. Do you like South Carolina? As a state, as a program, as a fan base, I like them. As a team this year, I don't think they're very good. They went 8-4 last year and lost to Kentucky and A&M. They were terrible. But the East, again, is so dreadful, it can make a team look okay. South Carolina's not a good football team. Hail State from Aiken, South Carolina. Hey. Awkward. Any ideas about the new head coach in baseball? None whatsoever. I just believe Cohen has this guy, and I believe he'll let us know very, very soon. I'm going to keep the morale up and not being the state team that does good, then blows it like years before. Justin McLean. I don't feel that way about Mississippi State teams before. I don't feel that way. So my morale is always, always high. I have confidence in Mississippi State. Confidence in the talent, confidence in the coaches, confidence in me rocking this shirt from Maroon & Company. But the question here yesterday, Terp, was if I dropped you into the Little League World Series this year, how many hits could you get in 20 at-bats? When they asked me that question, I said if they dropped me into at 38-year-old me, or 39 now, into the Little League World Series this year and let me bat, I would, out of 20 at-bats, I would have 16 hits with 12 home runs. That's what I would do. They're 12 years old. (2001) I don't think that. That was why Jay Hammers. Why would you want to talk about 2001 football? Why would you want to do that? That doesn't sound pleasant. Heard UCLA's John Savage is a baseball candidate. You certainly heard names. You've heard Tim Tadlock at Texas Tech. You've heard Jim Schlossnagel. You've heard the Louisville coach Dan McDonnell, and now John Savage, or whatever his name is. John Savage, yes. Fred Savage's dad. A lot of people don't know that. Starting the Wonder Years. That's not true at all. Not even kind of true. Avengers Infinity War. Go. I've not seen it. Probably. Did you? Did you like it?
Yeah, we knew that. We talked about this on Monday.
Scale of 1 to 10? You were at 7, right?
I said 7.
Yeah. Landshark, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
Where are you eating today?
I don't know.
I'm going to go to Cox. But let's not talk about the food court at the Perimeter Mall. I got in trouble last time. We went to the Rose Bowl in 2001. I love Winnie on the Wonder Years. Winnie Cooper. Winnie Cooper on the Wonder Years.
My dog was named after Winnie. My first dog.
After Winnie Cooper?
Yeah.
You know what the Wonder Years is?
No, but I know that person because my dog's name was Winnie.
So it wasn't named after Winnie Cooper at all.
Maybe not.
Was it named after Winnie the Pooh?
No. I don't know what it was named after. I wasn't alive when
Yep,
we got it.
it's time to wrap this one up. Hey, my name is Brandon Walker, Landshark. You good? Terp, you good? Good. We had fun today. Thursday Throwback Trivia will be back next Thursday. Oh, by the way, sorry, I should have said this earlier. Why didn't I say this earlier? I'll be on the big show today. I'll be on SEC Country Live, which is in this studio every day at 2 o'clock Central Time. We do an SEC Country show about the entire SEC, and I'll be on the big show today. I'll be co-hosting. So please watch me. Please. If you don't, somebody says favorite childhood crush, BW. Tiffany. Tiffany, that's my answer. Tiffany, the singer.
Is it no last name?
No, like Madonna.
I don't know who that is.
Tiffany. I think we're alone now. I'm not telling you that. That was her song. I'll be on the big show today. Check it out, SEC Country Live, 2 o'clock Central Time. Until next time, my name is Brandon Walker. That's been the Strecking Crew. This has been More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country.